introduce Angelo Collins. So I've been the director for 12 years, and it's time to pass the torch. So I announced to the board of directors in November that I was going to be stepping down. We had a competitive down select with really a lot of really top-notch candidates from around the world, VFS members, from people with past experience in NASA as Army helicopter pilots. But the board really wanted to focus on the strategic vision, which is both helicopters and advanced rotorcraft, as well as eVTOL. I'm going to stay on staff. I have no plans, so I'll stay on staff as long as my new boss wants me there. We're going to do a question and answer in a minute. Angelo is younger than I am, but I was not this young 12 years ago, so this is what I look like. But we have very similar backgrounds. So I have a bachelor's in mechanical engineering and an MBA. I've got 20 years of experience, and I had 20 years of experience before I started in aerospace. I worked for a small consulting company called CENTRA Technology. We did consulting for DARPA and ONR, and I also worked JSF, worked different advanced VTOL programs. I had been a member of VFS for 15 years, and technical paper author, Vertiflight magazine author. And if you look closely, pretty much the same thing. He got a Master of Engineering Administration instead of Business Administration. But I had 5 more years of experience, but I had been a member for 15 years, technical author. So I'm just going to flip back and forth. So, time to pass the torch. So with that, I'm going to invite Angelo up here, and we can have a little fireside chat.
You've got a really busy work program that you've put together, consisting of meetings and working with member companies, an awful lot on your plate for a relatively lean organization. Is the idea to sort of keep going broadly in the same direction, or to sort of change out the approach in any way? I'd just be curious to know how you see the future.
You want me to answer that?
Yes. So they like my vision of the society. We codified that in a document in the fall timeframe. We published it, and the board found somebody that they felt was the most representative of that vision. However, we basically have now split the workload between 2 people, and I'm going to enjoy working for Angelo, just like he enjoyed working for me many years ago.
It's a pleasure.
But Angelo used one word in his interview yesterday. So this is 24 hours old.
He's already stealing my thunder. Keep going.
And Angelo will give his vision for what he sees for VFS.
No, go ahead.
And the word, I'm going to screw it up. The word was he thought we should millennialize the society. So I was born in the 60s, so I think Gen X. You're
36.
Yeah, so you're a Zoomer, I guess.
We're a large generation. We're the future of vertical flight. I'm excited to engage the kids, and that's one of the things I'm going to start. I might take a university tour. There's not that many schools that offer aerospace engineering, but one of the things I think I'll enjoy is engaging even the freshman class, the ENAE 101 classes, Aerospace 101. You got 300 kids in the classroom. Talk to them maybe at the last 5 minutes of the class. It'll be a logistics problem, but engage the kids, introduce them to Vertical Flight Society at a young age, and it will reap benefits, in my opinion, and I'm excited for that. It's something maybe Mike touched on. There's only been 8 executive directors of the Vertical Flight Society in 80 years. And so we're in it for the long game, and we're excited to get, at the kids at their freshman year in college and even earlier. And so that's one of the things. Engaging the kids also to help on the social media front. I'm excited to actually engage the kids request 15, 30-second type videos that we could share in our social media, educational videos comparing certain types of helicopters. It'll be educational for them. They'll learn a lot. I think that'll be exciting and beneficial, mutually beneficial. Yeah.
That's good. So just developing that a little bit. I mean, in my experience, when you look at certainly the eVTOL startup companies, I quite quickly noticed that they seem to have a more diverse workforce. You know, they tend to have a younger workforce.
Yeah.
Tend to be more women involved. People have different backgrounds. Could that be sort of a lesson or an example for some of the more traditional mainstream rotorcraft companies, that maybe they need to go in that direction and, let's put it bluntly, become a bit less stale, male, and pale?
Yeah.
I'll go first. So, as you know, we've been very active in the workforce and diversity aspect, and we get some pushback about whether are we being woke, right? When there's in the U.S. there's this big anti-woke crusade, but it's really about giving everybody a chance. It is very difficult to change 100-year-old companies or 80-year-old companies and change the culture, both what people look like and how that they think and things like that. So it's much easier if you are starting with 20 people or fewer or whatever, and you staffing up for hundreds. Right? It's very easy. I shouldn't say easy. It's easier for the leadership to emphasize that in hiring. So yes, I think you will look at websites and you will see that Bell, Boeing, Sikorsky, other companies, Airbus, Leonardo, their recruiting materials has people of color, it has women, people with visible disabilities, things like that. So I think there's a general recognition that everyone knows we need to do the right thing, but it is actually hard to do that, especially if you're interviewing and like if I went to interview in a company of all women or any other demographic, right? All old people or all young people that weren't the same, that didn't look like me, right? I mean, that would be maybe take a little bit more thought. That especially if you're interviewing and like if I went to interview in a company of all women or any other demographic, right? All old people or all young people that weren't the same, that didn't look like me, right? I mean, that would be maybe take a little bit more thought.
The challenge with any organization, like a membership-based organization, is that you have people that are coming in and they're at different stages of life, and it's a question of what are their needs. I mean, what are their needs as well as what the organization's needs are. The organization's need is to have membership, but what do you perceive the needs of the younger engineers are? Or they may not be engineers who are coming into this industry. What is it that they need that the society can provide?
But I'd say for starter, they need employment, and I think they need inspiration too. They're not sure what they want to do. And when I was even in high school, I wasn't dead set on becoming an aerospace engineer. And I honestly recall I recall wanting someone to tell me what to do. I'll put it that way. I was even going to become a priest. I'm Greek Orthodox, so I can actually get married and so have some kids and whatnot. But I think the kids are looking for inspiration, and I think vertical flight is a challenging field. It's not easy. And I've been even talking to some folks here that do fixed wing as well, and they're like, I don't understand vertical flight. I understand fixed wing. I don't know how those things fly. And it's a challenge that I think some of these kids, especially if they enter technical fields like aerospace engineering, they're looking for a challenge. And I had quite a few classmates that one of the primary reasons they studied aerospace engineering because it was a challenge. They did other things. I had one friend that was an American Ninja Warrior on the side, rock climbing, kids that are, I mean, and so I think they're looking for inspiration. If we can direct those types of kids to vertical flight, then this domain will prosper. So that's one thing I'd like them to do.
I used to tell aerospace engineers that look, if you want to go, you want something easy, go into hypersonics, right? I mean, it's just flying really fast. You know, it's easy stuff. I mean, this is like so dynamic and unsteady and everything. It's very challenging. Yes, Ian.
What's your views on the various chapters around the world and international relations per se?
I'd first like to meet everyone, and I'm looking forward to meeting the international chapters and the leads for those respective chapters. I mean, we're an international society, and that is, you know, in our name and in our former name, American Helicopter Society International, Vertical Flight Society now. And I certainly see there being a lot of mutual benefit to having the international community involved. We can learn from them, you know, here in the United States, and they can learn from us. And dialogue and communication is a great thing. And so, yeah, I maybe I'll leave it at that without putting my foot in my mouth, but I'll do my homework. I have I give myself a good year to get trained up on everything, even engaging with our international partners and learning more about them. Yeah. Speaking of social media, I think we officially accomplished what we needed to at the Heli Expo, because I just received a request to connect from Jim Viola about 5 minutes ago on LinkedIn.
Cool.
And so I think that's a great start. You know, I'm glad we started the transition here at the Heli Expo, and I hope that HAI will be a big partner going forward, especially in my tenure. And so, yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, because I posted my videos and photos of the arrivals over the weekend, and there was a lot of likes. There was a lot of
Yeah, it's great.
there's a lot of love hearts as well. So
Yeah, so I mean, I'll just make this our concluding statement. But another thing that Angelo brought up was, you know, videos. So there are a lot of media organizations and fantastic, and we love working with them. We don't do like breaking news so much. I mean, we'll have a 20-page article on, you know, eVTOL or a company, or 10-page articles. I mean, and we have, you know, we have 15,000 PDFs of papers that are 10 to 20 pages long. So we do the in-depth, the meaty, or if you're a vegetarian, the tofu-y, you know, details and information. And so I have not put video clips like TikTok things, which apparently are, those types of videos are apparently extremely addictive and addicting. So I have not done those, but Angelo was saying, you know, little video clips, that's where you get the likes. If you got, you know, short videos or whatever, that's what people, young people particularly, are very interested in.
I'll say this is not social media for the sake of social media either. If you give these kids topics or specific disciplines of interest, them taking the time to put together a 15 and 30-second video is actually going to be educational for them, regardless of how viral it goes. It'll go hand in hand with things. I know we're talking about social media a lot, but yeah, there's other things we're going to be doing. But yeah.
So I think just to summarize, you know, Angela talked about engagement. You know, we want to get people excited, inspired to, you know, young people to enter vertical flight or stay into vertical flight. We need to hire like 10,000 engineers to meet all the demands for the military rotorcraft development, civil helicopter development, and eVTOL. And those are going to be young people coming in, but also people from other segments coming to vertical flight. So people from airlines, people from automotive, IT, you know, AI. I mean, we need so much, you know, especially eVTOL aircraft, AAM aircraft are so complex. It's not just, you know, turning wrenches and sticking in an engine. It's much more software based and much more sophisticated. So, like the Vertical Flight Society, we are a sophisticated organization. And so with that, thank you everybody for coming, and have a great rest of the show.